Welcome to Igbo Table Talks with Ollie and
Mecca.
okay, so today's topic, I feel like a lot of us trauma bond over this topic because it's something that anyone,
Mm.
any Nigerian born, even sometimes African born
African born can
um
relate.
person can relate to, with first generation parents,
Yeah,
um, which is pretty much growing up in a Nigerian home.
it just gives chills, man. Like it gives chills.
Growing up in a Nigerian home, like what that experience, is like, and it seems like a lot of us, just somewhat had this same
Same
experience.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are from the Nigerian perspective, right?
Mhm.
Yoruba, Efik, Angan, Ibibio, Urobo, Igbo, Igala, uh, Edo, Benin, uh, Ibibio. I mentioned Ibibio, right?
Mhm.
And you are in the diaspora. There's one thing that connects all of our experiences. Oh, otu ihe mee ka anyị lekwe n'ime aha Nigeria from diaspora karịa otu ndị mmadụ nọ n'ụlọ na-akwe na n'ime Nigeria,
Mhm.
which is our experiences here are all the same. Because we have our independent cultural perspective and history,
Yeah.
right? But the uniting force, otu ihe na-eme ka anyị lekwe si anyị le bụ Nigeria's diaspora bụ ihe anyị gabiga. And otu ihe anyị gabiga n'ime bụ education. Ndị nna anyị ma ndị Yoruba o, ndị Igbo, onye Ishan, onye Ibibio ga-akwe si nwa m nlete ga-aga ụlọ akwụkwọ. You guys are all going to go there and study, make the A's. They don't have two heads and you have one. You must go there and perform. It's all about
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Being a Nigerian in diaspora is about performance. Ma ọrụ gị, ma ụlọ akwụkwọ, ma di na nwaanyị na-alụ, ihe ọ bụla ị na-eme, performance. And that performance is what has united all of us today
Mhm.
to have our current story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have another point, but I kind of want to touch upon what you said, with the whole education thing. It's like, when you're as an adult, and being a parent, you tend to understand, their perspective. I think everything came from survival, um, for them. And you see, when you think about it, how like the economy is now, you get to understand why they were the way they were.
Of course.
Why they were pushing us to do particular
Be the
fields.
greatest of all.
Be the greatest in what you do, but like still like a particular field that they wanted you to go in. Like it was all the same. If you're coming from an African home, the parents want you to either become a doctor, you
The big
know,
three. The big three. Okay.
doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Ihe ụzọ atọ.
And now
Otu n'ime anyị
we,
ga-akọ.
we see it play out in this economy where, like, it's people who are in the medical field that, a lot of the other fields that are struggling,
Yeah.
and it's like it came from survival because a lot of them that left, if you're in a good place, if you feel like where you are is the greenest, you don't leave it.
Okay.
So they left because they felt that where they were was not the greenest.
Yeah. And then those fields are also predominant. Ebobole na ganimowa.
Yeah.
You need those three.
They felt it wasn't the greenest. So it's like now they left there, because they wanted to survive.
Okay.
And in that survival,
Uh-huh.
they're pushing that on their kids because it's like, okay, like everyone, you guys need to survive. You guys need to be stable.
Yeah.
And for them, when they came, the jobs that were presented to them as the most stable job to have, or the quickest way to come up, was nursing.
Okay.
It was all still medical.
Okay.
And then they moved as a pack.
Right.
So this is what they hear.
One
as
tribe.
Yeah.
One
This is what
movement.
they hear as the thing. So now they're pushing it on us.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like, you guys, this is what you must do, to survive. You have, and that's where that came from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and even now, um I see some people saying, oh, they wish they listened to their parents when it came to their career.
Yep.
And
know.
that says a lot because we all used to rebel against it, like, no, I don't want to do this. Our parents, they're so ignorant. Why do they think this is the only way? But then you think about it now, and it's like, Okay.
It's
You know,
survival over
it's
your
survival
passion.
over passion, you
Ako
know,
passion
because
gani
yeah,
gani.
yeah,
Obo passion gani
yeah,
go.
and that's how they felt. It's like, okay, like it's not about what you want right now. It's about surviving.
Yeah.
You know, it's sometimes it can be. It's not the
Imecha.
most
Me passion.
best way,
Whatever
to
even.
go, but
Still
it's
my
like their
passion.
thing was, forget about your
It's
passion.
true.
While as
At
millennials,
least for now.
when you come out of the African bubble.
Survival.
No, no, hold on. So like when
Okay.
you come out of the African bubble, right? In America, millennials, they
Okay.
told us, follow your dreams. You can
Mm.
be whatever you
Oh
want.
yeah.
If you believe you can fly, you can fly. If you believe
Ikafe.
whatever you want to do, follow your passion.
Right.
The world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want.
Passion po
But
nyojo.
then you come home, your parents are like, no, no passion, no.
Mm.
Teacher, no. Artist, no.
Mhm.
You want to become an actor, no.
Mhm.
This is what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you're hearing two
Two
different
different
things,
worlds.
and
Wabo na na
millennials
collide.
I mean, we're learning now. A lot of us are realizing that we were lied to.
Yeah.
Don't always follow
Absolutely.
your passion, if we're
True.
being honest here.
True.
So the truth is in between.
Yeah.
And another point
You
is
get your mommy
is
hanga.
like, even growing up in an African home,
Mm.
literally like when you're home, it's almost like you're back in Nigeria. You're eating only Nigerian food. You're you know, you're watching Nigerian shows. Your
Opo
parents are speaking, the language to
to
you.
all thrive.
You dress watch how you dress. The church you go
Native
to
attire.
is Nigerian.
Yes.
Everything the parties you go to is Nigerian, and then you come out
And
and
you're
then
out till
you're
2 a.m. in those whole
and,
parties.
it's
4
like
a.m.
you go to school. It's a whole different. It's like
Okay.
you're living two lives.
Yes.
Like you're literally
Oh,
forced to
Juku.
maneuver between two different lives and cultures
Oh,
because that's
Juku.
literally how it's set up.
That's how it's
Because
set up.
a lot of our parents didn't really assimilate. I
No.
mean, they were still at work, but then at home, everything is
Yeah.
like contained within
Haha phone on
the
one submission hana me.
yeah
Inde hana kuku bu inde beha.
yeah mm-hmm.
Inde hana ga even mahana ga kwa lunch maha but ibobla hana ga. You bla na
Everything
me.
yeah.
Inde beha. Also so on haga say, "Oh yeah, Billy, what's going on?"
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
phone ba.
yeah.
Hala atla to Inde Nigeria, Inde Bondi or whatever it
Mhm.
is.
And
And
I think it also made it hard to even relate to them because
exactly.
they're in a different country, in a different world, but they
Operating like that.
operating like that, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it made it hard to relate to their kids.
Of
It's
course.
like we couldn't really
Hana
relate to
buying
them.
hana buying the
They
America.
didn't understand, the things we were going through,
Socially,
and
economically,
none of it.
morally,
Yeah,
culturally. How does that get it,
yeah,
Nike?
it was so different. I think that's a lot of us. I think that's what's even pushing a lot of us now with our own kids. Like a lot of us, from conversations,
Mm.
we want to relate with our kids.
Yeah,
We want to be part of our kids' lives, and I think all of
On the
that is
compound, on the compound.
all them because for us, we didn't experience that with our parents.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times, like kids always want to be better than their parents and do things different. So I
Okay.
think that's why we're so focused on being able to relate to relate to our kids because
Mm-hmm.
we weren't able to relate to our parents because they were so different
Always
from
joke.
us.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
know,
why so Nime one or Nime.
so different from us.
Always joke.
And I
Yeah.
feel like for my
Still not
my
shit.
our youngest, I think she has it the worst with because she's the one who literally like she cannot relate to our dad because there's
Okay.
such different generations.
Nkino Jinaka.
Yes,
Okay.
such different generations. It's very hard, and it's like you really think about it. It's like
It's real. It's
it's
really, really
real,
hard.
because other people at least if the your parents you guys even though it's a different
Age gap.
time
Age gap.
we're doing age gap
Mm-hmm.
but this one is like there's a
Hagagota ihe
yeah
iga Jinime.
yeah this one is
Hagagota
like
Ijeki.
we had to deal with not just age gap,
Mm-hmm.
cultural
Culture gap,
gap,
which is hard.
experience gap.
Yeah.
My dad would be like, I never talked to my dad that way. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
do, but it's like it's so different,
And ima mmadụ ọbụla kwesịrị masị nwa ha ọ bụghị tọọ egwuregwu ha ị ga just dowe nga gị na-akpụrụ okwu ha nọ.
But that's the thing. That's the
Oh yeah.
thing. That's it's so different for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
They grew up in a different culture where
It's
like
true.
you can't talk back at all
Ihe
to
iche
your
ị
parents.
gaghị
You
ekwesị
can't.
ikwu ya.
It's so different.
Oh, eziokwu.
You can't just dialogue and things like that. It's so different, which is why they will always be like, well, yeah, I wasn't like, like, I didn't do this with my parents. I didn't do that to my parents. But it's like, I think sometimes they fail to understand that your child is you guys are very different.
Yeah, on iche.
Different worlds. Like, it's
Yeah,
like,
I
and
buy
it's
more
so,
like America.
and
I got the America einstein even.
it's like even just talking through it now, I'm even realizing the magnitude of what that
It's
is.
huge.
It's
It's huge.
huge.
It's very, very big. It is.
And
And
I'm just like it's like I feel like it's just being downloaded to
yeah,
me right now that dang it
and
was
it is.
it's so
And
different.
it's not.
I think it also will make you even feel
Empathy?
sympathy. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
empathy.
yeah. For
You
Nina
know,
Nine, yeah.
for them because it
Yes.
really was very different. I
And
just they didn't know they could. It's like if you can't understand it, it's hard to comprehend
ebe
it.
ọzọ bụ ebe ọzọ nne na anyị mebiri ije ha bụ ha gara iweta enyi bekee oge ha batara n'ime ala bekee n'ihi na enyi ha ndị bụ ndị gara bụ ndị bekee gara enyi ha aka ịghọta
But
the cultural norms nke ha kwesịrị nye nwa aka ha aka.
but think
It
about
would
it
have
though.
helped.
Like a lot of times, people we as humans we always gravitate towards people who are like
It's
us.
true.
So for
It's
them,
true.
will the American friends even
It,
want to
it,
hang out with them?
it wouldn't have been possible. You're
You know
right.
what I
You're
mean?
right. You're right. Yeah.
So
And ma oge ha batara
so they just went to
ịbụ
get comfort.
it's true. And oge ha batara ịghọ onye Africa
It wasn't yeah.
ịghọla ịma akụkọ ha
It's just
na-akọrọ anyị.
yeah. It's just becoming popular now because even for us, we dealt with
If we dealt with
it
it.
dealt with the so imagine their generation how it was.
A
Some of
na-akpọ anyị
them are
n'akụkọ
still
was
some
crazy
of them are still they still hold a grudge over how they were treated.
by their peers in high
Hmm.
school in the
No,
80s,
not even that. Not even high school,
90s.
like at work.
No, true. The prejudice, Nigerians,
Yes.
stereotypes.
Yeah. A lot of them still
She
talk
said,
about it.
oh, wait,
Like, when people hear the accent, they
mm,
just start looking down on them.
it's true, it's true.
So it's like
It's not easy.
when you feel like, you're being looked down on
Yeah.
by a particular group,
It
why
got
would
say
you
on your cake
want to go through it? Yeah.
So a lot of it, we need to have sympathy in our generation.
Yeah, and
How about it?
yeah, because
How
I'm
about it?
really honestly just realizing because I feel like a lot of times whenever we talk about it, it's from a place of criticism.
Yes.
And this is the first time it's hitting me as I'm speaking through it
Yeah.
that wow,
Bagara.
sympathy. It really they just
Yeah,
you
they
can't
know.
give what you don't have.
You can't give what you don't have.
Yeah, you really cannot. You can't give what you don't have.
Point is like you expect to receive too. And it's like you can't because the person never had it to begin with. Oh,
Yeah.
Haji Hanaka. But in my ebe ọzọ okwu na maybe bụ ụfọdụ n'ime anyị ghọta ha sị that excellence nne na anyị chọ ka anyị gba ọsọ nara n'ụlọ akwụkwọ nara n'ọrụ anyị ọ ihe ga-eme ka anyị bụ ndị nọ n'ihu on a social cultural level. It's like they were designing the next generation to become indibu wadile ni malapeke gasi. Yeah, on average, any Nigerian household on where
No, I honestly I don't think they were thinking that deep. I think it really was
Okay.
survival. I think it was more of like, you know what, we moved our
open
life
land.
for a better life,
Yes.
and this is what we feel a better life is. I don't think they were trying to
create the grand
create, I
okay.
think it's just more of like, okay, like we want you guys, to be in a greater situation
than we were.
than they were there and than they were while they were here because
Okay.
a lot of them had to literally start over. I know, like, I don't think I'm glad that that's not becoming the case anymore where like, people can move over here
Mm,
and continue their career,
mhm,
but for them they literally have to start over.
mm.
And
I got them.
yeah,
I
so I
get
think
that.
a lot of it really was like,
It wasn't
from
a
a place.
plan. Just,
Yeah, it wasn't a plan. It's
just
just
execute and
yeah,
humble.
yeah, but I
Money.
think because a lot of their kids, follow what the parents said, education,
Naturally, yeah.
ended up being,
True, true.
one of the number ones in education because
Yeah.
it was pushed so much.
So obodo ọzọ ndị nọ na ihu bụ ndị India, likely.
Oh yeah,
That's
they're still doing it
Yeah.
where they actually they
Structure.
give you this structure. This is
Yeah.
what you're going to focus
Yeah.
on, and even thinking about it, because I've I know like when I started school, my parents they wanted me to do pharmacy,
Okay.
but I ended up doing graphic design and computer science, and
Rebel. Graphic design.
and the thing is like, yeah, because I mean I've always been an artist,
Yeah.
so I wanted to kind of pursue that while also
Natural
with the
talent.
mentality of like, okay, well, you also need something
Survival.
aside from, yeah, so that's
Just
why I
one
did
of you.
computer science, and
Yeah.
I ended up graduating with information technology, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't just do graphic design, because not everyone makes it.
You gotta
Even
jump
in
you got
college,
to jump on that
they
graphic
kept
design.
telling us, not everyone is going to make it. You're doing this for passion because there's not that much money in it.
And passion.
And for me, I mean, even at the time, I was never someone who was like, oh, I want to be rich. Mine was more like, I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to survive, and I want to be able to take care of myself.
Good.
That was always my thing.
Good.
And I'm just grateful that, God led me through that path and I'm in a good situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, I've always said, oh, if my kids don't want to go to college, it's fine. But it's like now, the way the world is and how life is, it's like I think I might continue the same thing of like, making college mandatory
Probably.
because
Otuta ni manga mayo.
at
I
least
don't see
like
it not happening.
at least
Okay, Niki
you know
Oche, Ipurunelu,
yeah,
Yamegada.
and if they're going to do
Yeah.
it, I am going to, I'm not going to say enforce, but
Mm.
I will guide them
Yes.
to careers
Yes.
that yield something,
Yep.
because I see from my peers the ones that are in a good situation are the
Mm.
ones that did particular
Careers. Yeah.
you know,
Indeed, Nina so
that did
more
particular
pharmacy, more engineering,
programs.
more
Yeah,
medicine,
the
more
other ones they've either had to
nursing.
go back to school
Mm.
or pivot.
Sure, sure.
So it's like, okay, why will I see all this and then allow my kids to make
Also,
those
make
mistakes,
sure. Yeah.
because at times they might not like it, but it's that thing where, they say that the difference between age is really, I think what comes with age is
I
wisdom
mean,
and
yeah.
experience.
Yes, that's right.
And that Igbo pronoun, what an old person sees
Sitting down.
sitting down.
Nwa could be about a guy who ya naguzo.
Yeah,
So
it's
God
called
knows.
Itilu, right?
Itilu.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Igbo? How do you say it in Igbo? I can't remember.
Itilu.
No. Like what?
Oh, ihe okenye na-ahụ ikporala nwa akorobịa ọbọbịa agaghị ahụ ya na-guzo.
Yep. And pretty much means like, what a young person sees
What
sitting
an elder
down.
sees sitting down.
What elder sees, yeah. What an elder sees sitting down.
Yeah.
A young person will not see,
Standing up.
climb on top of a tree.
On top of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Mm.
so, and it's that thing, because because it's like, now I've seen it. I've seen the trajectory of, my peers with the careers we've chosen,
Okay.
where each of us ended up. So it does say that, okay, those things play a part. Some, were able to make it with, with doing careers that are, a little bit more passion driven.
Okay.
But I'm sure, but it's still, it's not the, yeah, they are, but it's not the norm. They had to, they are, they're hard
They
workers.
created a
Yeah, they
way.
had to, make their way,
Really?
and of course, like with favor and God.
Yes.
But the average person,
Yeah.
it's like it really was a struggle,
And
a lot of them had to go back to school
true.
to do something else.
Yeah, and Abel's on to the two kubobu. Unwine when he's so passion, but her guy is so passion also. And Ganya hoed Nina, also to ha out the guy, Chineke Ganya hoed Nime aka nine, Nina naha, Kaha, passion, kama, they will still see the direction of career.
I don't know.
I think more of them may have the chance of passion.
For me, they will see passion, but I feel like for me, I'm still going to push, like
A substantial
do some, especially if you're going to college is expensive.
They'll
Do something that if you're going to take, because by God's grace, no loans, the goal is to make sure there's funds available. But if you're going to do something that is either we're paying for, or you're taking a loan and you have to pay it back, that job you're going to have better be able to pay off that loan.
Oh, you're joking.
If that job will not pay off that loan, then no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Because that's my thing, because it's like an investment. Like, it's like, we don't think of it, it's literally an investment. Like, you're paying, but a lot of times we don't see it that way. It's like,
I didn't see that way.
because you're just thinking as, oh, this is the next step.
Yeah,
but
that way.
If you're being honest, it's an investment.
I gotta be too cool, yeah. Because I'm in public policy. I had to be man law, which again I was driven by so law and was my interest. Kama nime law public policy buzo kama I got the ham nime public policy city huku nke ganye maka
have a good direction.
Yeah, but nime yabo nime.
I mean, but you did try. You did things.
Yeah.
I feel like you just weren't equipped.
Yeah, mekwa masters too. Again, all that akonuche mecha next stage. But nime ya. You got to go na hinganyiki
yield.
You have to yield it. Yeah, you have to yield investments that will give you return.
Yeah.
Because ulakwa business. It's not.
It is.
It's not a social club or a people's club of Nigeria or something of America.
Don't teach us that. Remember, can you literally think a 17-year-old, 18-year-old taking out a loan?
Oh,
and they make it seem like it's nothing, but it's literally
it's
loan, and it comes with interest.
It's literally.
It
got no chiggy. Ego you not do not hack a pocket and say, oh, ugo giant, ugo gine. So yeah, interest is 40%.
And it's not presented that way, but that's literally what it is. It's literally like it's a business. It's an investment. So it's like, okay, like what you want, something where you know there will be return on that investment, and you're able to pay pay the company, pay the bank
Yes.
back,
In your example, even bo
pay the government back.
wa amuru na baptism. Papaya na mama na jomajo hembasa college. Magwa hansi hembasa loan half oku, half fast for chile. Go no lanya scholarship and all the nuku scholarship and I
No,
check it.
it's
Come
yeah,
on,
it's
the
important.
loans, ebakul also GT akukon
Oh
for
yeah.
any date fast for or anything like
That
that.
was my I'm just
Man,
I'm grateful that for
India,
some reason I was able to early on know that okay, this is not free money, this is not I have to pay this back, and I always had that mindset, and it really helped me with making sure that
yeah.
I only took what I needed. I made sure that I was able to find scholarships.
Try.
I really, yeah, I know. I found scholarships before
Oh,
college. I found scholarships in college,
EJ,
which helped balance
EJ.
it out. And when it was time to pay it off,
Mm,
like it wasn't crazy, and I was able to be in a position where I was able to pay it back.
sure.
And that's exactly like I feel like that's what I'm going to pass on. Like,
It's
hey,
good. Likely it put
this is
1%, 1%. It's your time.
it's no seriously, like it's important to so that's why I'm saying that when it comes to this whole college thing now, I view it differently.
Me panyagi
I view it
leala.
differently. Like
Mala goto
going
yen.
to some if you want to pursue passion, but don't go to college for it.
Ba.
If it's not unless it's a passion, like we know the fields, unless it's
I
STEM or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but like there will be return like that on that investment, you will be able to pay it off.
Mhm.
Don't do it.
So n'ime okwu anyị niile anyị ghọtala si nne na nna anyị
They were
ekele dịrị Chineke si ha jiri anyị ụzọ
yeah.
lee ihe kwesịrị na alụ akwụkwọ n'ihi na bụ anyị hụrụ sị ihe na ha kwuru bụ eziokwu
But sure,
ihe
but
na ha kwuru
except for
bara uru.
the loan part, because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
for
Ọ bụ
some of
eziokwu.
them they saw it as nothing. Oh, take the loan, take it.
Ha kwara anyị niile ma ọ gwee m ha si were loan emechikọghachi ya onwe ihe
Yeah, because for them that's not
ha
something
ghọta
that
ha.
I got that home, and it's not in Nigeria.
It's not Nigeria.
And
We're
they're
not
like,
in
because it's
Nigeria.
like here they made it. Because I know for me,
Ha ma ihe interesting.
if I went to school in Nigeria, I don't honestly don't think I would have been able to go to college
Okay. Yeah, because
because there's no money.
there's no money. And also,
But
you know, to mother no
yeah,
I go.
but here, you're able to
With a loan, got college. With a loan, got masters. With a
loan
loan.
merit.
Oh yeah, man.
Because my master's, I didn't take out loans. It was I was working there, so it's merit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Graduate
it's like,
system.
yeah,
Oh, it's joking.
you're able to like the scholarships you can get here is not the same there.
Oh, it's joking.
So that's
Sure.
why I think for me that's why I'm always extremely grateful because where we were there, I don't think any of us would have been able to go to college. You know, like especially six kids, and here in America, like 6 kids, 5 of them were able to go to college. Where like in Nigeria, none of them would have been able to go to college.
Even I
So,
thought
so it's like I know that like it's definitely they didn't understand the process for it,
They didn't.
and this but their minds were in the right place with the guidance, like go to college,
correct.
do this majors,
Yeah.
take out loans if you have to, just
Yeah.
go to college.
And
And a lot of times like yeah, so
You're right.
it's like good and bad,
Yeah.
honestly.
So-
And I props for them, like I always give them props
Yeah.
because they were navigating a foreign land, and they did the best they could with the little knowledge that they had.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I say more for the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the all traumatic experiences, and then going with it from their generation. And
Yeah, they didn't know everything, but they tried.
they tried.
Yeah.
Abarambo. And I got say no imene
Mhm.
uncles and aunties
Yeah.
no crew.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the experience of being growing up.
Yeah, and I just pray that as we're navigating that you take the good that they did and leave the bad.
Half a culture.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Kanga nihu.
Yeah.
Ndego.